my darlings, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Patty Cake Games, and I play games. It is Saturday morning, and that means it's time to have our coffee and continue our playthrough of I Am Dead. I've been enjoying this quite a bit. If you'd like to see more of this particular game, you can look in my channel. There's a playlist that has all my videos for this game, as well as all the other videos that I've made. So feel free to browse and peruse to your heart's content. And if you like what you see, go ahead and click on the like and subscribe button underneath this video, and possibly even the notification bell. I release videos every Saturday morning at about 8 a.m. Central Time, but there are additional videos that come out during the week when I have extra time to record, and I'm working on some big projects right now, so there's that. So make sure you do that as well. Plus, it'll make you feel good, and everyone likes to feel good. But we're going to go ahead and continue this playthrough now. I've been so enjoying this game, and I feel like we're getting really close to the end because there's only one ghost left to find, and if he won't take over the job of the custodian, then who will? It's not going to be me. I haven't been dead long enough. So, let's see. The boats of Shelmerston. That's where we are. We're at the harbor, looking at the boats, looking for the ghost of a fish person, because fish people are a thing in this world, and bird people too. This is a weird little game. It's very weird, but it's very pretty and it's very cute. It's very charming. Oh, it's right into it. Okay, who am I looking for again? Let's remind ourselves who we're looking for. Oh, look, there's an extra one. There's one extra one. So there may be one more episode after this. Sam Fire, that's right. One of the fish folk. Sam was one of the first of their kind to fully integrate with the ways of the land, taking a position of responsibility as Shelmerston's harbor controller. Sam played an important part in helping the island to retain its own identity in the face of industrialization and tourism. They were an integral member of the Save the Morlove movement. All right, so I've read that at the end of the last episode, so if you're watching these in order, you just saw that twice in a row, and I apologize, but I needed to refresh my memory because it's been like 2 weeks since I played. All right, so Sharnford and Barwell Hornet Radial Aviation Engine. Oh, there's somebody. All right, let's take a look at... Oh, come on, highlighter. Touchy controls. Okay, there we go. A wild fish person.
I swim with a pod south of the Fire Isles. I believe the dry-siders call the larger one Shelmerston. It's where the ceremony happens for the dry-sider who stopped the world from cracking. That's where I first heard talk of toast, and where I met the friend called Samfire. I did not believe it at first. A food which snaps, so dry. Then one morning at sunup, I followed the ship and caught a blackened slice as it arced into the water. This was the start of my lifelong love of toast. I saw Samfire on the dry side and came up out of the sea to ask them for toast. They asked me to put on some pants, but I refused to denigrate myself with dry-side fabric. No matter, I had brought some shiny coins with me that I found on the seabed and secreted in my swimming folds.
Lovely.
Sam took me to their parents' toast shack, but they refused to serve me without clothes. They also told me that my shiny coins were unsuitable, too old. So Sam lent me some trousers, and I swept the toast shack in return for crispy slices. Sam taught me some of the ways of the dry-siders, but to be honest, I'm only interested in the toast. I never wanted to eat anything else. Sam understood this.
Is it going to be toast or a toaster?
I spend my nights swimming through the black waters of the deepest ocean trenches. By day, I come up onto quayside and fill up on the finest crusted seedy bloomer, almost black, no butter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a piece of toast.
Oh, I could really go for a nice piece of toast right now. But, yeah, with butter.
My voice hasn't completely woken up yet. I hope I sound okay. I feel like I sound not congested, but that, like, I don't know how to describe it. I have that unawake sound in my voice. I'm wide awake. I went to bed at a normal hour. I know, shocking. Well, it's because I knew I had a lot of recording to do this weekend. I'm going out of town soon, and so I need to get as much recording done as I can this weekend. So I'm going to be doing this all day, probably. Not this game, but other games. Oh, it's a flotation device underneath the seat. Of course, it's a boat. Flotation devices are under the seat. Oh, there it is. This one hit a toaster. Got it.
It's a shame, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of toast on this side.
Oh, that's it. Boink. Okay, that was easy. Easier than I thought it was going to be. I swear I am going to find every single one of these. This is not being uninstalled once I'm done with the story. I'm going to continue finding them, and then I'll make a short video when I find the last one, and I'll post it so we can all celebrate together finding all the little hidden ghosts.
By the time Sam started as the
Lance.
harbour controller in
Should
79,
start reading people.
the
Sorry.
fishing industry in Shelmiston was on its arse. No way to compete with those factory trawlers from the mainland, was there? Couldn't moor those things anywhere near the island, even if we had them. Of course we were all smuggling, stands to reason, done it? There was no money. All those old fishing sheds on the quay, the ones the tourists like, were falling down. Old place looked, pardon me, like a tip.
So that explains why, well, I don't know, maybe not anymore, but I mean, that explains why there was alcohol in a hat box. Maybe they were smuggling it on the plane. Okay.
There was a lot of trouble at first. Sam trying to stick by the rules and catch us out any way they could, and us trying any which way to give her the runabout. Wasn't easy, mind you. She was smart, that Sam. You never knew when they were going to pop her head out of the water beside your tub. And to be fair to Sam, some of them smuggling boys were bad uns. Worse stuff than booze on some of them boats, and that's the truth. Probably no bad thing Sam put a stop to it. But in time, Sam started to see how things were, how we do things, and we came to an understanding of sorts. If Sam turned a blind eye to a bit of the decent stuff, the harmless stuff, then we'd report the worst of it. I mean, we all want to keep the seas safe, stands to reason. Plus, Sam was partial to a bottle or two of the sheep shank on occasion. Oh, yeah. Sam was sharp as a gutting knife. They made us hand over some of the, shall we say, dividends to fix up the quay. All them sheds and that. Make them into something we'd be proud of. Turn things around for Shelmiston, that did. Now we get more of those tourists since the big ferry started. And they love a day out on a boat. Ken takes them all out, he does. At the same time, Sam organised a kind of work-sharing thing with the fish folk. Got some of them to swim along with the fishing boats, help them locate the biggest shoals. Gave those big trawlers with all their fancy radar gear a run for their money. We'll never be big players in the fishing down here. But thanks to Sam, we hold our own. Bless him.
So, what is this going to be? I didn't even notice the object. Is it?
I reckon I still have a bottle or two of sheep shank
Sheep
stashed
shank?
away at the museum. Don't suppose anyone will ever drink them now.
Bottle of sheep shank, maybe? Yeah, bottle of sheep shank. Okay, so... Well, how about with all these bottles here? How about in the box of sheep shank? Yeah, okay, well that was easy. Come on, Mal. You can hide stuff a little better than that. Alright. 80 proof, damn.
A different kind of spirit to the ones we've been looking for.
True that, Sparky. Here. Maybe one of these, yeah. Yeah. What's this? Boink. Got it. These have gotten progressively... Either I'm getting much better at finding them, or they've gotten progressively easier as the game has gone on. I've only found like a couple that were really hard. And they were earlier in the game, oddly enough. Okay, so that's that. The C-Def Concrete Armor Unit Barge. That's a weird shape. Okay, memory first. Coral. He's a diver.
It was the 6th summer after I spawned that I went to my first Aggie's Day ceremony. You know, Aggie, the dry-sider who saved the world from cracking in two. We don't go on land until we're 6 years old. It's all swimming, wafting around. Standing up is hard at first, the weight distribution. Anyway, I went up dry side for the ceremony, and that was where I first met Sam. It was so loud and hot out there, all that shell blowing. I was bored, and my body felt dry and heavy. I was too young, really. There were souvenir stalls selling bracelets with little stones of polished lava. I wanted one so bad, I would not shut up about it. Sam saw I was fed up. They took me up the beach, away to the dunes, and Sam gave me a little polished stone of my own to play with. Had a heart of gold, they did. It wasn't until years later that I found out it was a tiny replica of the one Aggie died on. We became good friends. Sam helped a lot. They were always on my side. My pod, we were quite traditional, didn't like us working with the dry-siders, but Sam talked me into going for the job as a diver on the new harbor. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd have tried. That stone was my lucky charm. I took it with me when I went for the interview, and I took it down with me when I went on my first dive. I had a pocket made specially in my tool belt. Sam took me under their fin, invited me out to the camel, and let me stay with them and Blythe on the ferry if it was a late one. And there were plenty of late ones. Karaoke nights are still my favorites. Every time I feel that lucky stone in my pocket, I think of Sam.
Alright, so
I
Lucky
remember
Stone.
all the fish folk coming up on the beach for Aggie's Day when I was a lad. Seems less of a big deal these days. I guess they still celebrate it, but, well, it's a lot more sedate. Back then, oh, it was a huge event.
Okay, so the stone. Gosh, there's a lot of places it could be, because there's nothing logical about it. It could just be dropped anywhere, so you have to look at everything. All right, so we'll look in the office first. And the teapot. Oh, but this is the kettle. Oh, and I know what it is too. It's down here. It's these. But it's solid, so maybe it's flipped over. Oh, no, maybe it's flipped over this way. There it is. Got it. You know, when I first saw it, I thought it looked like a light bulb or like a heating element, and it's the heating element. It was exactly what it looked like. I'm having trouble talking. I should go get some more coffee. Oh, you know what? What are these things on the wall? I didn't look at these. He had a special... It's Coral's Code. He had a special pocket made for it. It's going to be here. There it is. just didn't look enough.
Oh,
Okay, 2 more.
magic stones? I knew humans were superstitious, but I thought the fish folk would be a bit more savvy.
Everyone has their own superstitions. Maisie Louise, a modern trawler with refrigerated hold. The Maisie Louise is registered in Shelmerston, hence the SH number. She is actually Shelmerston's biggest fishing boat. And there's a Grinkin. And a memory. Winkle Bob.
When I was a kid, I hated the annual Morlow Cull. I was kept away and found excuses not to be there. Then, age 10, my dad marched me down to the beach with other men and put a knife in my hand. It was the worst day of my life. I saw Morlow slit from jaw to belly, more blood than you could imagine. I didn't sleep for months after. But you grow up, don't you? I never felt it right that we was killing Morlows, but what could I do about it? I was just a fisherman. One day I see Samfire, the new harbour officer, handing out leaflets on the quayside. Stop that, Col. I went along to that first meeting at the campsite. Greg Litherland was one of the other organisers. It was
I remember him.
beautiful. So much hope around that campfire. When I spoke about the pain of the Morlow, it really felt like the young uns were listening. Me, Sam and Greg held regular events to raise funds for badges and patches. I was proud to wear mine on me best Gansey. There was quite a rift between us and the old guard. They felt the ban was an attack on our ways. Sam and me took a load of the fishermen out for a beer, and Sam made them listen. They really respected Sam. We got most of them on our side that way. By 87, we finally felt like we had enough support to push for change. So the week before the Morlow showed up, we organised a mass dying on the beach. There were loads of us lying down on that sand. Islanders, fishermen, fish folk all together. And the press showed up, and the mainland TV, and for the first time in 500 years, we stopped that cull.
This will be the badge, or the pin.
I'm so glad we don't do that cull anymore. I was proud of Sam and that lot when they finally made the old uns see sense. And, well, I did my part. Held a lot of those early meetings at the museum, we did.
All right, so we gotta find the badge and also the Grinkin spirit. So Winkle Bob, the fisherman since he left school, like his dad before him, Bob has been fishing the waters around Shelmerston for over 40 years now. Can I look at the fridge? Yes, I can look at the... Oh, look, the radio. Yeah. See, I was right. And when I saw that, I was like, that's got to be what it is, but it's not this one, so there must be another one somewhere. And here it is. And I got it. Boink. Hello, Grinkin. How about this? The lockers. Winkle Bob's backpack covered with pens. It's got to be here. It's got to be here. Save the Morlows. There it is.
Oh, I love Morlows. Such gentle creatures.
Blythe Tonkian, ferry captain. So this is the guy from the other person's memory.
I first met Sam when I sailed the new ferry, the Queen of the Isles, into harbor. Of course, I'd heard of the fish folk, but I'd never met one. Sam was an amazing pilot. Knew the waters better than any boatman. It was strange, steering a course for someone actually in the water, but we never went wrong with Sam to guide us in. Next time I was in Shummerston, we went for a drink at the Camel. I'm more into bats than beer, but Sam was intriguing, and the atmosphere in there was great. Like a warm nest. Great band, too. Awesome sousaphone player. I think we got on
Ogden.
because we were both a little bit on the outside of things. Sam invited me over for toast and hot chocolate. Honestly, hot chocolate doesn't do it for me. But the toast, that multi-seed bread. Sam made the best toast. I told Sam that next to a good cuttlefish bone, that it was my favorite snack. I stayed over. In the morning, we went for a walk along the beach. And just as the sun was rising, I took them flying on my back. We went up and looked down over the islands. Sam wasn't scared at all. They said it was like swimming through the air. It was on the next trip to Shummerston. We just sighted land when Sam's head popped out of the water right beside my berth and passed me a fresh cuttlefish bone, carved especially for me. When we moved in together, it was the best day of my whole life. I put that cuttlefish bone on my bedside table within beak reach. I still look at it every day, every single day.
I just remembered that time Blythe and I did a duet at the karaoke. I can't believe I agreed to it. Must have had a few too many. I never knew how Sam and Blythe met.
As soon as I saw those fish laying there, it's like, that's got to be the thing. And there it is. Popcorn bag? Pick and mix. Swedish fish. I used to love, there was a drugstore in my hometown when I grew up that had a pick and mix section. I used to love when I'd have like $1 from my mom and I could go buy a whole bunch of candy for like $1. Then I get to pick the ones that I want. It's the water guide. This is one of the ones that's going to be tricky.
A few moments later.
There it is. Like immediately, as soon as I figured it out. Beep. Got it. Just looking at it backwards. Cuttlefish bone. Oh, is that it? That is. And that's it.
I used to love finding these on the beach. Oof. Sam, this is an easy scent profile. I'm coming, Sam.
All right, let's find him. Hey, come back here. There we go. It's half of them. He's upside down.
Ahoy there, Samfire!
Morris and Sparky! Oh, lovely to see you both. What can I do for you two?
Well, we wanted to ask you something. It's about Aggie.
She doesn't have long left now, does she? Poor thing.
No, not long at all. We were hoping you might replace her as custodian.
Oh, Morris. I spent years of my life as harbour master trying to keep people from meddling with nature. I don't feel any differently now. I'm appreciative of all Aggie has sacrificed for us, but the island spirit isn't evil. It just needs to erupt from time to time. And if it needs to now, let it, I say. Let nature do what it must. As the fish folk say, the tides will tell.
Yeah, Sam, I hear that. I really do.
No! No, Morris. We can't just give up.
Now, we'll talk about this in a bit, Sparky. Sam, it's always good to see you. Will you be around later?
I think I will. A volcanic eruption is a rare and beautiful thing. I think I'd like to see it.
Okay, so as expected, Sam was also a dead end. But there's one more thing on the list. It's the
Okay, we just need to talk to Aggie. She'll know what to do.
No, Sparky. I've been thinking about it, and I think Samfire's right. I think it's maybe time to let the town go.
No, Morris. It's not.
No, it's all right, Sparky girl. It's over. This isn't my town anymore. The only ones around here who remember me are ghosts.
That's not true.
No, it is. But that's all right. Truly it is. Everything for a season and all that. And I miss the people I knew. The people who've moved on. I want to see them again. I think I will take Pete Nochop on his offer and head into the west with him. Shelmerston doesn't need Morris Lupton any longer.
Morris Lupton, you will not give up. You have been granted a precious responsibility and you will honor it.
Sparky?
I'm sorry about that. Remember when I told you I was mostly Sparky? I am, but mostly.
Then what else are you?
I am the rock that you stand on. The wood you people built this town from. The magma bubbling beneath your feet. I am Shelmerston. And right now, I want to erupt. But I have also made connections to the things that live here. Connections I want to keep alive. I need you, Morris.
Right. Well,
And I'm still your Sparky. And I need you, Morris. We all do.
Oh, Sparky.
I know you feel forgotten. I know you want to move on. I do too, but I can't until I wrap up this last bit of unfinished business. Will you try one last avenue with me? If we still can't find a solution, then I'll be done. It'll all be done. And we can go into the West together. Please.
All right, Sparky. One last try. But who else is there to talk to?
Aggie.
Aggie?
I figured it would be Aggie.
Where is she? Oh, she's everywhere, isn't she?
She is. But I can sniff her out. I just need some mementos.
But where would we find mementos from back then? Oh.
Probably the museum.
Of course.
Back to your museum, Morris.
Whew. That one got to me a little bit. All right, Shelmerston Museum.
Ah, well, it's reopened. Well, I suppose that's good. Need to keep up the footfall. Everything has to move on.
Well, yes, but, you know, it is still your museum, Morris. It wouldn't be here without you.
Ah, it was never my museum, Sparky. It was Shelmerston's. It's changing, but... you know, I think it should. So, what happens now? How do we find 4,000-year-old memories?
Ah, come with me, Morris. There's one more thing I ought to show you.
Oh, okay, Sparky.
Okay, so this is it. Okay. All right. So this is where we're going to end this episode. So this was fun. I got that last scene got me a little bit. But yeah, so we will continue this. There's going to be one more episode apparently because we have one more person to find. So we're going to cut this here, and let me go to mute this. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I really am enjoying this series. If you like this, leave me a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe the video and hit the notification bell so you see when other videos are coming out. I will continue this, and there'll be one more episode as we wrap up this story. Of course, there's lots of other gameplay videos you can watch on my channel, so if you want to watch some more, watch some more. But thank you for tuning in and making it this far, and have a great whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.